Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Time Travel Simulator. Start with a green dragon fruit. Chapter 31. Although he died quickly, he died very young. But it's okay, he still gained something from this simulated time travel. Because he had been playing guerrilla warfare with Kaido and Big Mom for the next 2 or 3 years, he successfully awakened observation haki in the guerrilla warfare. It was with the help of observation haki that he was able to avoid Kaido and Big Mom's pursuit again and again, eventually forcing them to join forces. You are dead, this simulation has ended. Cumulative survival time, 28 years, points earned, 28 points, simulator cooling time, 1 day. Close black lens bracket. In this simulation, you have obtained the following abilities. Observation haki, please choose one to extract. Close black lens bracket. Ding dong, extracting observation haki ability. Ding dong, the observation haki ability has been extracted. As the ethereal mechanical female voice fell, Zhongzhan suddenly felt that the observation haki in his body suddenly became thicker. He subconsciously dispersed observation haki. Suddenly, a huge 3D rendering model that refreshed in real time appeared in his mind. At the same time, there are various voices. 10 meters. Zhongzhan suddenly became happy, more than doubled. Awesome, awesome, awesome. After being happy for a while, Zhongzhan gradually came back to his senses. He did not take back the released observation haki, but kept retracting and releasing it like a child who had just got his favorite toy. What's going on with this toilet cubicle? Why is my observation haki blocked when approaching this toilet cubicle? Zhongzhan's brows suddenly frowned. Are all toilets equipped with detection shielding equipment? Thinking this, he quickly controlled observation haki and rushed to the toilet cubicle on the side. Observation haki easily entered the toilet cubicle without any obstruction. What's going on? Zhongzhan was immediately confused. When something goes wrong, there must be a monster. There is a problem, there is definitely a problem. Thinking of this, Zhongzhan suddenly stood up. Driven by strong curiosity, he walked step by step to the toilet at the end of this carriage, opened the door next to the toilet cubicle that could block observation haki's detection, and walked in. After locking the door, Zhongzhan went to the toilet in a decent manner, while he activated observation haki with all his strength and headed towards the next door to detect. Then, he heard 2 low and hoarse voices. Are you crazy? You contacted me suddenly at this time. This is right under the nose of that guy Li Hao. Don't worry, I used a barrier bead that can block all mental power detection methods. That guy Li Hao can't hear our conversation. That's good. Let's talk. Contact me suddenly before the plan starts. Can I ask you anything? I just received news that Li Hao, who is in charge of this train, is suspected to have advanced to the 6th level, so the plan has changed and must be postponed until after dinner. I have arranged for someone to cook for Li Hao and his friends. It's poisonous. 6th level perfection. Damn it, didn't that guy just break through the 6th level top level a year ago? Why did it happen so fast? This may be the legendary genius. After all, he is a top student who graduated from Magic City University. HMPH. So what about geniuses? So what about Demon City University? Are there not many geniuses who die at the hands of our divine religion every year? Humph. Okay, no more gossip. The energy of the barrier beads is about to be exhausted. Remember not to be impulsive later, and don't underestimate Li Hao. After all, Li Hao has reached the 6th level of Zochan. I know. ... Soon, the private bathroom next door became quiet. Zhongzhan's mind also became quiet. But, at this moment, deep down in his heart, he was not at all quiet. More than quiet, there was already a huge wave in his heart. Someone is eyeing Li Hao, the 6th level powerhouse who is guarding this train. An organization called the Divine Sect is preparing to hunt Li Hao. No. Zhongzhan's eyes suddenly became sharp. He clenched his fists suddenly. Li Hao, absolutely nothing can happen. Now this train has left the confines of Jiacheng and is in a dangerous wilderness area. And in these wilderness areas, there are a lot of dangerous beasts living. There are even 4th, 5th and even 6th order ferocious beasts among them. Once something happened to Li Hao, even if the group of divine cult members did not attack Zhongzhan and others on the train, Zhongzhan and others would never be able to survive in the dangerous wilderness. But having said that, observation hockey actually has such a use. The barrier beads that can shield the mental power of the 6th level perfectionist realm can only play a little role in blocking observation hockey. Originally, Zhongzhan was looking forward to the day when he could successfully sort out observation hockey's training method. Because the arrival of that day means that he will become a billionaire. But now, he hesitated. He began to hesitate as to whether he should study and sort out observation hockey's training methods. Once sorted out, once it spreads widely, once someone other than him learns and masters observation hockey, the fact that observation hockey can ignore the shielding of the barrier beads will surely spread quickly. No, 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 no. Now is not the time to think about this matter at all. The top priority now is to report the news that someone is going to poison. Thinking of this, Zhongzhan quickly forgot about observation hockey. Leave the toilet. Zhongzhan originally planned to go directly to the carriage where the previous Li Hao was. But he had just taken 2 steps that way when observation hockey noticed 7 or 8 bright or covert glances, suddenly staring at him. Oops, Zhongzhan was suddenly shocked. But there was no panic on his face, but he looked up vaguely at the train's car number. Hey, isn't it this way? Zhongzhan scratched his head and turned to leave. After he left, the 7 or 8 eyes that looked at him dispersed one after another. After returning to his seat and sitting down, Zhongzhan's face suddenly darkened. Oops, those attackers have already laid an ambush in advance. If I walk over rashly now, they will definitely arouse their suspicion. Although it can alert Li Hao and force the plan of those guys to abort, in that case, they will he might get angry and kill me. No, 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 I have to find a safer way to remind Li Hao. It will definitely not work without reminding you. If something happened to Li Hao, the 6th level strongman who was responsible for escorting the train, basically everyone on the train would not be able to survive in the wilderness full of ferocious beasts. However, Zhongzhan couldn't find any good way to remind him. All of a sudden, Zhongzhan was almost worried to death. Terribly upset. Tick-tock tick-tock. Time passes quickly. Seeing that it was almost time for dinner, Zhongzhan still didn't think of a way to break the situation, and he became more and more impetuous as he thought about it. If it really doesn't work, I really have no choice but to risk my life and just rush over. Thinking of this, Zhongzhan clenched his fist suddenly. Right now, he noticed the glances from the side. Looking up, he saw a boy sitting in the next seat staring at him. Suddenly, an idea flashed in Zhongzhan's mind. Take it into consideration. I'm sorry, brother, I can only wrong you. After Zhongzhan muttered silently in his heart, a strong anger suddenly appeared on his face. What are you looking at? Zhongzhan suddenly shouted angrily at the boy who looked to be the same age as him. The boy obviously didn't expect Zhongzhan's attitude to be so bad, and he was stunned for a moment. Before he could recover, Zhongzhan's fist had already landed on his face. Ah! Amid the boy's screams of pain, Zhongzhan's roar sounded again, still looking. What a fart, you guy, I have tolerated you for a long time. You have been staring at me since I got in the car. What a fart, if you don't give me a reasonable explanation today, I'm not done with you. The boy spoke intermittently. As soon as he said 2 words, Zhongzhan had already lifted him up from his seat. You can't even say a complete sentence, guilty. Zhongzhan said, seeming to have thought of something, and suddenly screamed, I know why you keep staring at me. You guy, I've seen you on the news. Are you the gay named Wang Ping? Speaking of this, a look of disgust suddenly appeared on Zhongzhan's face. He threw the boy out in disgust. With great force, the boy drew a beautiful arc in the air and then directly hit the moving glass door of the car in front. Ping ring ring. The glass door shattered instantly. You guy. It was only at this moment that the boy came to his senses belatedly. Anger. Endless anger suddenly swept through his body. Can he not be angry? Obviously he just glanced at Zhongzhan, a stranger, but he called him gay and got punched twice for no reason. I'm afraid no matter who it is, no matter you are a good-tempered person, you will be angry when encountering such inexplicable things. Z la 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 la. Suddenly, Thunder and lightning began to flash on his right arm. Obviously, he is also a superpower. However, before he could take action, an inexplicable pressure suddenly swept across the entire carriage. Immediately afterwards, a tall figure suddenly walked out of the car in front of him step by step. This man is quite young, he looks to be in his mid-20s. But his whole body was filled with the aura of a strong man. What happened? The man glanced at the entire carriage expressionlessly and then asked. Master Li Hao, this is what happened. The boy who was beaten up by Zhang Zan for no reason spoke with an aggrieved face and told what happened. Is it really? Li Hao raised his head and glanced at Zhang Zan, who had just walked over. Well, yes, that's true. Zhang Zan nodded directly and admitted. Mr. Li Hao, you also heard it. He admitted it, he admitted it, he admitted it. When the boy heard this, he suddenly got excited and shouted. Why did you do that? Li Hao asked with a cold face. There's no reason, it's just because he's unhappy. As Zhang Zan spoke, he took 2 steps behind Li Hao calmly. At the same time, because Zhang Zan was facing away from the group of uninvited guests in the carriage at the moment, he secretly winked at Li Hao. Although Li Hao didn't know what Zhang Zan was up to. But, based on Zhang Zan's strange behavior, he clearly noticed that something was wrong, and he quietly became vigilant in his heart. Master Li Hao, you heard it too. This damn guy beat me up just because he saw me unhappy, and even slandered me as gay. Mr. Li Hao, you have to make the decision for me. Ying 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 ying. The boy who was beaten cried in grievance. And at this time, under the cover of his cry, Zhang Zan had successfully stood behind Li Hao on the left side. It wasn't until this moment that Zhang Zan breathed a sigh of relief. Before Li Hao could ask, Zhang Zan suddenly spoke. Master Li Hao. There is an organization called some kind of religious cult that is planning to assassinate you. They poisoned your dinner and planned to surround you after you were poisoned. You. What? Hear this. The boy who was originally crying suddenly froze. And this time, inside the carriage. Damn it. Not good. Oops. Exposed. Go up. Go up. Kill. 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 Even if Li Hao really reaches the 6th level of perfection, he should just be the one who has just been promoted. Only by killing him can we survive. Suddenly, in the carriage, there was a burst of exclamations and roars. Immediately afterwards, the uninvited guests scattered in every corner of the carriage jumped up almost at the same time. One by one, they charged towards Li Hao with ferocious faces. HMPH, 1/6 order high grade, 1/6 order low grade, 2 5th order middle grade, and 3 4th order consummators want to kill me. You bastards of the world-destroying cult, are you looking down on me a little too much? Li Hao. Li Hao was not afraid of the siege from the 7 intermediate ability users. Reach out and grab it. As the screams rang out, the 6th level low-level cultist was crushed into a ball of blood by an invisible force. Hiss. When Zhang Zan saw this, he couldn't help but take a breath of air. Master Li Hao, we are here to help you. At this time, a shout came from the car in front. Immediately afterwards, Zhang Zan saw 4 or 5 guards wearing train guard uniforms and rushed over. The moment one of them ran past Li Hao, sudden. His eyes were ferocious. The mouth cracked. He punched Li Hao suddenly. Master Li Hao, be careful. Zhang Zan didn't even think about it. Conqueror's Haki surged out instantly. At the same time, the blue dragon fruit ability in his body exploded, and he directly entered the form of a dragon, charging directly at the guard member who suddenly turned against him. In the final analysis, Zhang Zan is just a 1st level superpower. Even though he unleashed his Azure Dragon Fruit ability with all his strength, his power was still very small compared to the member of the guard who suddenly rebelled. After all, the member of the escort team who suddenly rebelled was a 4th level superpower. And he is also a power user who is least afraid of melee combat. The power Zhang Zan unleashed in his dragon form was nothing compared to him. So, from the beginning, that man didn't take Zhang Zan seriously at all. He even directly ignored Zhang Zan's existence. It laid the foundation for his death. Zhang Zan's power, although to him, was insignificant. But, Conqueror's Haki, a spiritual force that has never appeared in this world, can have a slight impact on him. Under the impact of Conqueror's Hockey, the man's body stiffened slightly for a fraction of a second. 0.1 second, that's a very, very small number. Under normal circumstances, no one will care even if it is just 1 second, let alone a mere 0.01 seconds. But, for Li Hao, a 6th level Zochan capable person. For Li Hao, an ability user who is about to hit the 7th level. 0.1 second is enough. It was enough for him to react. Roll. Along with Li Hao's roar, a terrifying shock wave suddenly spread out from his body. Aha! The 4th level ability user who betrayed him and attacked him was ejected directly by this terrifying shock wave. After smashing the window, he fell off the high-speed train and died on the spot. After seeing that their last backup was destroyed by Li Hao, the few cultists from the destruction cult suddenly had the intention of quitting. And Li Hao perfectly seized this opportunity when they thought of quitting. Pressing harder and harder. Within a short time, these cultists had all died in Li Hao's hands. After Li Hao quickly groped around on their bodies for a while, the smile on his face suddenly brightened. Then, he suddenly turned his head towards Zhongzhan and said, "Boy, what's your name?" "Master Li Hao, my name is Zhongzhan." Zhongzhan replied respectfully. "Zhongzhan, I remember you. You did well, very well. Judging from your appearance, you should still be in high school, right? The college entrance examination is about to take place. Why are you suddenly on the train?" Li Hao looked at Zhang. After Zhan glanced at it, he asked, "Sir Li Hao, I have been admitted to Magic City University in advance. It doesn't make any sense to me whether to take the college entrance examination or not. That's why I decided to leave Jiacheng and go to Magic City in advance to experience Magic City in advance. The city's cultivation atmosphere. Have you been admitted to Magic City University in advance?" Li Hao's face was startled, and he quickly said, "Sir, please call me senior. After all, I was also a student of Magic City University." After learning that Zhongzhan was his junior, Li Hao's attitude became much more enthusiastic and the smile on his face became much brighter. "Senior Li Hao," Zhongzhan called directly without being polite. "Give." Li Hao suddenly threw an exquisite ring to Zhongzhan and said, "I am not the kind of stingy person. Since you are my junior disciple, I will give you this space ring. This time I will give it to you. Thanks to you, if it weren't for your reminder, even if I could eradicate them all this time, I wouldn't be able to suffer much." Space ring. Zhongzhan looked at the ring in his hand with joy. After looking around, he quickly thanked Li Hao. "Thank you, senior, but is it too expensive?" Space ring. This is a space ring. This is the legendary space ring. Ha ha ha, junior fellow, you're welcome. This is just a small space ring. There should only be 8 cubic spaces in it. It's only worth 2 to 3 million at most. It's hard to say whether it's valuable or not. Hear the words. Zhongzhan was suddenly startled. It's only worth 2 or 3 million at most, so it's not something that's ultimately worthless. Li Hao's ordinary words kept echoing in Zhongzhan's mind over and over again, making him unforgettable for a long time. "Senior, thank you very much. Maybe to you, 2 to 3 million may not be much, but to me, it is indeed a huge sum of money. Thank you very much." Zhongzhan said, bowed deeply towards Li Hao and said thank you. When doing things, you must know how to be grateful. Okay, this is your attitude, you junior fellow student, I recognize it. The smile on Li Hao's face suddenly became extremely bright. Then, at his warm invitation, Zhongzhan came to the luxury car in front. The two of them started chatting with each other. Next, nothing unexpected happened along the way. A quick night. Noon the next day, the train arrived at the passenger transport center of Magic City smoothly. "Zhongzhan, senior, I have other tasks to do, and I can't fulfill my duties as a landlord. If you have any questions or things you don't understand later, just call me and I will answer them for you one by one." Inside the station, Li Hao smiled and said to Zhongzhan, "Well, senior, go and do your work and don't worry about me." Even if Li Hao wanted to take Zhongzhan to visit the Magic City, Zhongzhan would not agree. Favor is the hardest thing to repay. Zhongzhan didn't want to owe him too many favors. "By the way, Junior Zhongzhan, there is something I have to tell you." Just as Zhang Zan was about to turn around and leave, Li Hao suddenly stopped him. What's wrong, Senior Li Hao? What's going on? Zhang Zan was confused. Ahem, that's right. When you get to Magic City University in the future, if you can, try not to mention my name, otherwise you will easily get into trouble. Li Hao said, scratching his head awkwardly. Ah, trouble, Senior Li Hao, aren't you a graduate of Magic City University? Why is there trouble for mentioning your name at Magic City University? Zhang Zan was immediately confused. Harm, this starts with the teaching philosophy of our Magic City University. You also know that the concept of competition is prevalent in our Magic City University. If you want training resources, you have to fight. You want a good instructor, you have to fight. If you want to use good training equipment, you have to fight. You Senior me, the family is actually very poor, so in order to get enough resources to support my cultivation, I didn't have a little cute classmates who had been to me. Zhang Zan noticed. When Li Hao talked about this matter, a look of nostalgia and yearning appeared on his face. What does that mean? This shows what? Looking at Li Hao, who was reminiscing about the past, Zhang Zan suddenly thought of something. So, he asked, wait a minute, Senior Li Hao, this matter has nothing to do with me, right? Yes, it really has nothing to do with you. Li Hao then changed his words, but if you mention me in Magic City University and reveal that you and I have a good relationship and have a great conversation, they will never let you go. Yes, the word goes like this, love the house and the bird. But, Zhang Zan's face was full of confusion. No, they shouldn't be so narrow-minded, right? No, 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 no. Li Hao said with a smile. Zhang Zan, you don't understand. They have deep grudges against me. After all, I competed for more than 90% of their cultivation resources, which harmed many of them. There are so few people who have not been able to successfully break through the 5th level and graduate from Demon City University. 90%. Hear the words. The corners of Zhang Zan's mouth twitched involuntarily. He tried to put himself into the group of people who had been deprived of 90% of their cultivation resources by Li Hao. Resentment. I must be resentful. If this is not resentful, there is really something wrong with your brain. Senior, you are so cruel. Zhang Zan couldn't bear it anymore and complained. There is no way, who made me so poor? There are only so many resources, I can only fight for them from their hands. Li Hao said with a smile. However, in fact, you don't need to worry too much. Those guys are basically around the 4th level now. According to the rules of Magic City University, students with higher levels cannot compete with others of the same level. His lower level students took action, unless the lower level student nodded in agreement. I understand, Senior. Zhang Zan nodded. Zhang Zan, it's getting late, so let's just say goodbye. Well, goodbye, Senior. Zhang Zan waved to Li Hao, then turned and left. Li Hao, you seem to value that boy very much. You are always very generous, but this time you actually gave him a space ring. A chubby figure suddenly jumped out from the side and came to Li Hao's side. That boy is not simple. Li Hao couldn't help but recall what happened on the train, and his eyes flickered when he thought of the 0.01 second when the traitorous 4th level ability user's body suddenly stagnated. Xiaobai, believe it or not, after that kid enters the school, he will definitely cause quite a stir in Magic City University. Li Hao said with great certainty. Li Hao, are you so optimistic about that kid? The fat man's eyes suddenly became sharp. I have learned about it along the way. He is from a very poor family just like me. He is even worse off than I was when I first entered school. So, if he wants to grow up quickly, he must be like me, desperate to compete for resources from others, and he must be more ruthless than me. Looking at Zhang Zan's quickly leaving figure, Li Hao said in a deep voice. Are you so sure that he will fight? What if he chooses to lie down? The fat man was curious. Will not. Li Hao shook his head firmly and said, he is a smart man. Since he chose Magic City University among many universities, he must have been mentally prepared to fight. Fat man, you grew up in fine clothes and fine food, but you don't understand the mentality of poor people like us. People like him and I who were born into poverty at the bottom of society will never let it go easily if one day they suddenly get an opportunity to climb up. The fat man glanced at Li Hao and said angrily, So, this is how you plan to use the 2 million yuan that you just received from the school to the ignorant freshman who had just entered the school before graduation. The reason why the student aid funds were given to everyone and all were defrauded without leaving a penny. Ahem, how can you say this is a lie? I won it from them openly. After coughing a few times in embarrassment, Li Hao suddenly slapped his head and said, "Oh, no, I forgot to tell that kid Zhang Zan about this." 1 year has passed, and most of those ignorant freshmen should be there already at the second level or even the third level. They are different from the group of old students who are about to graduate. They are not like the group of old students who are about to graduate. They are not on campus all year round. If they know that I have a good relationship with that kid Zhang Zan, that boy Zan is really in trouble. Hey. When the fat man on the side heard this, he suddenly sneered, "I believe you, you damn old man, you are so bad. You obviously didn't tell him on purpose." "Nonsense. I'm not that kind of person," Li Hao retorted quickly. Ha. The fat man didn't reply, but sneered at him. Okay, I admit it, I did it on purpose." Li Hao's expression gradually became playful. "I am also doing it for his own good. Don't young people nowadays like to play the trick of pretending to be pigs and eating tigers? Don't they all like to hide their own strength? They are forcing him to show his prominence in disguise. After all, his family background is not good and he is not qualified to grow up slowly like you wealthy second-generation people. He has to fight. Aren't you afraid that he will fight for nothing, not say anything, and even lose his own capital, so that he will be lost to the public in the end?" The fat man asked. "Why should I worry about this? Why should I worry about this and that for him? I am not related to him, so why should I worry so much about him?" Li Hao spoke meaningfully. "The reason why I gave him the space ring, and the reason why I spoke so many words to him, is because he helped me resolve a crisis on the train, so I should repay him. I have repaid him twice as much, I have returned the favor, and no matter what he does or what happens next, it has nothing to do with me. But, Fatty, I trust my vision. I trust my intuition." Li Hao suddenly looked at the fat man, his eyes flickered and said, "That boy will never disappear from the public after hitting a wall like you said. Isn't Jin Lin like a thing in the pond? He will be destroyed by the storm. Transforming into a dragon, that boy is not an easy person." Li Hao murmured, his eyes flashing as he couldn't help but recall Zhang Zan's ability to stop the rebellious 4th level ability user for a moment. Zhang Zan didn't know about the conversation between Li Hao and Fatty. Because at this moment, he was rushing towards the Magic City Superpower Association. He is very aware of the preciousness of time. He didn't want to waste every second of his time. It truly deserves to be one of the 3 largest cities in Kyushu. Zhang Zan couldn't help but sigh as he looked at the Magic City Superpower Association building, which was 20 or 30 stories high. A building that is 20 or 30 stories high is already a very low floor compared to the world before Zhang Zan traveled through time. But, for this spiritually resurrected world, a 20 or 30-story building is already very tall. Very, very high, because there are often a large number of flying beasts in the sky. After sighing with emotion, Zhang Zan strode into the Magic City Superpower Association. The Demon City is truly a demon city. Jiacheng, a small place, cannot compete with the Demon City at all. Although the Superpower User Association in Jiacheng is very lively and there are people with superpowers coming and going, most of them are first and second level low-level superpower users. But it's different here in Magic City. There are a lot of 4th level, 5th level, and 6th level mid-level ability users. Can you still see a high-level ability user passing by? It truly is a magic city. Zhang Zan sighed again in his heart. Then, he followed the markings on the ground and came to the low-level bounty mission acceptance hall on the 7th floor. Looking at the dazzling array of first-level bounty missions on the screen, Zhang Xuanxinchunan couldn't help but secretly rejoiced. My choice was indeed right. My guess was indeed right. The reason why Zhang Zan is so happy and excited is actually not just because of the large number of first-level bounty missions from the Magic City Superpower Association. Another reason was because he quickly read through it and discovered it. The bounty of the first-level bounty missions here in Demon City is generally higher than the first-level bounty missions in Jiacheng. And it's almost twice as high. As expected of a big city. Zhang Zan sighed and directly accepted 5 first-level bounty tasks in one go. He actually wanted to take on a few more bounty missions in one go, which would save him a lot of time running back and forth. But what a pity. According to the regulations of the Superpower Association, each person can only take on a maximum of 5 tasks at the same time. After purchasing some cheap elixirs for healing, Zhang Zan hurriedly left the Magic City Superpower Association and rushed to the first mission location without stopping. He started the 5 tasks at around 1 p.m. and worked until around 7 p.m. before completing them all. I made 220,000 yuan in 6 hours. The speed is still a bit slow. I can speed up the time a little tomorrow and try to complete 2 waves of 10 tasks within 10 hours during the day and earn 400,000 yuan a day. Then I will work directly at night. Use these 400,000 to buy spiritual herbs and elixirs to assist your cultivation. Set a small goal and try to improve a small level before school starts. In a dilapidated, small and dark rental house, Zhang Zan silently planned and decided on his goals for the next 3.5 months. Life like this seems really hard. But what can be done? Who made him poor? Who makes him not a rich second generation? If a poor person wants to turn around, it is useless to rely solely on talent. In addition to talent, he also needs hard work. Even those rich second generations must work hard enough if they want to quickly improve their strength. After all, spiritual herbs and elixirs that can directly enhance strength are very rare and rare. Most of the spiritual herbs and elixirs can only assist in cultivation. If you don't work hard and just rely on taking magical herbs and elixirs to improve your strength, even if you are given hundreds of millions or even billions, it will not be enough. A quick night. Early the next morning, before dawn, Zhang Zan woke up early and rushed to the Magic City Superpower Association. After accepting 5 first-level bounty missions in one go, he rushed to the mission location without stopping. At around 11:30 p.m., Zhang Zan, who had completed all the tasks, hurriedly returned to the Magic City Superpower Association, took on 5 new tasks, and then left in a hurry again. By the time he returned to the Magic City Superpower Association, it was already dark and it was already past 7 o'clock in the evening. The reason why it took him so much longer to complete the 5 tasks in the afternoon than in the morning was because he stopped for a while. What? Why did you stop? You ask. No need to ask. Hard work is hard work, cheat can't be forgotten. There is a shortcut to take, why not take it? Yes, the reason why Zhang Zan stopped was precisely to complete the simulated time travel once a day. Pity. This time he still failed to develop any good talents. Although he lived to be in his 50s, he relied too much on the talent of dragon blood descendants. During the simulated time travel, he did not have a single ability until his death, learn. Naturally, Zhang Zan couldn't extract a single ability. Zhang Zan was almost mad to death. Back to business. In one day, Zhang Zan received a total of 430,000. He used about 30,000 yuan to buy some wound medicine, and the remaining 400,000 yuan was all exchanged for cultivation resources. Then, Zhang Zan hurried back to his rental house and started today's practice. He continued practicing until around 12 o'clock in the evening, then he lay down and fell asleep. Early the next morning, before dawn, Zhang Zan went out again. Just like that, day after day, day after day. Zhang Zan's life seemed so boring. But he enjoyed it with relish. Time passes quietly. In the blink of an eye, more than 3 months passed. This day, Magic City, Association of Superpowers, 13th floor. Detection layer. Beep 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 beep. An urgent and sharp beep sounded suddenly. Zhang Zan slowly released the detector. He raised his head and looked at the screen of the detector. Energy fluctuation. 3341. Looking at these 4 numbers on the screen, the corners of Zhang Zan's mouth slowly raised. Even if I don't enter the dragon human form, the energy fluctuations I detect exceed 3000. In other words, in human form alone, I am already a first-level mid-level superpower. Muttering, Zhang Zan suddenly activated the Azure Dragon Fruit ability in his body with all his strength and entered the dragon form. Immediately, he grabbed the detector. Beep 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 beep. Along with the harsh prompt sound, a new string of numbers appeared on the screen of the detector, 10,023. Breaking 10,000. The energy fluctuation exceeds 10,000. What does that mean? Put it this way. According to the classification of the Superpower Association, the energy fluctuations of a second-level low-level superpower are between 5,000 and 10,000. The energy fluctuation of a second-level mid-level superpower is between 10,000 and 150,000. And now, Zhongzhan's energy fluctuation in dragon form is 10,023. This means, Zhongzhan in the form of a dragon can burst out with the power of the second-level mid-level. Perfect. Looking at the 5-digit number on the screen of the detector, the smile on Zhongzhan's face became brighter. He did not stop testing this time. This testing room is different from the small testing room of Jiacheng Superpower Association. What can be detected here is not just energy fluctuations. Zhongzhan came to another detector. This detector is used to detect mental strength. I don't know how much my mental power has increased. Take a deep breath. After being fully mentally prepared, Zhongzhan turned on the mental power detector. Soon, a line of numbers appeared on the display screen of the mental power detector, 632 Hz. 600 is over, which is not bad. Compared with 3 months ago, it has more than doubled. Although compared with the increase in energy fluctuations, the increase in mental power is too small, but this is also normal. After all, the cultivation resources related to spiritual power are so expensive. The most common spiritual nourishing fruit costs 500,000, alas. After Zhongzhan sighed, he temporarily put the matter behind him. Then, he began to test his speed, reaction, strength and other unilateral attributes. It took about half an hour to complete a set of tests. There are still 10 minutes left. It is different from Jiacheng Psychic Association. The testing rooms at the Magic City Superpower Association charge by the hour. 20,000 yuan an hour is very expensive. Although it is expensive, the various supporting facilities inside are very complete. It can be said that it has everything you need, and it is considered to be worth the money. Although the test has been completed, Zhongzhan felt a little painful in his heart when he thought that he had spent a full 20,000 yuan to rent this test room. No. Although the test has been completed, I can't just leave. There are still 10 minutes left. If I leave directly, wouldn't I lose money? Ever since, Zhongzhan began to practice in this spacious testing room. He quickly used all the abilities he currently had. First up, there's Marine 6 Styles. Yes, you read that right, Marine 6 Styles. The 6 abilities of Marine 6 Styles were simulated by Zhongzhan in more than 3 months. He has extracted Shave, Iron Body, Paper Arts and Tempest Kick 4 times, and Finger Pistol and Moonwalk, he has extracted them twice. Of course, the abilities Zhongzhan has extracted in more than 3 months are not just Marine 6 Styles. Armament Hockey, he also successfully obtained it during the simulated time travel 10 days ago. At this point, Zhongzhan has successfully gathered all the Conqueror's Hockey. So, don't look at the energy fluctuations in Zhongzhan's human form, which are only more than 3,000. He is just a first-level mid-level superpower. But, if it really came to a fight, in his human form, with the help of Conqueror's Hockey and Marine 6 Styles, he would definitely be able to fight with a top-level or even a perfect first-level superpower. 10 minutes later, after clearing the recorded data of all the detectors, Zhongzhan strode out of the Magic City Superpower Association, and then boarded the bus to Magic City University, which is located on the seaside in the eastern suburbs outside Magic City. Yes, the Demon City University was not established inside the Demon City, but outside the city. First, it is because Magic City University needs to occupy a large amount of land, at least thousands of acres of land. Secondly, it's because Magic City University is actually not a simple university. The meaning of its existence is not simply to teach and educate people. It also has a more important task, which is to suppress a different time and space rift. On the other side of the rift in different time and space is a vast and boundless world. But in that world, there are no such creatures as humans. There are countless cruel beasts living in that world. These ferocious beasts want to escape from the cracks all the time. And Magic City University is built on this different time and space rift. The main entrance of Magic City University. Zhongzhan looked at the huge main entrance of Magic City University and couldn't help but take a breath of air. There is no other reason than that the main entrance is too big and majestic. Let's put it this way. The square at the main entrance alone is enough to accommodate tens of thousands of people at the same time. Standing at the gate, Zhongzhan felt as small as an insignificant ant. Enter the campus along the gate. Zhongzhan had just taken 2 steps when a tall boy walked towards him quickly and said, "Hello, classmate. If nothing else, you should be the new student here to register, right?" "Yes." Zhongzhan nodded. "Really?" The boy smiled and said immediately, "Hello, junior, I am your senior. My name is Xiao Yan. You can just call me Senior Xiao. I have been specially arranged by the school to welcome you new students." "Senior Xiao Yan, your name is really good," Zhongzhan said as he couldn't help but recall a certain novel he had read before traveling through time. "Hee, right, I think my name is pretty nice too." Xiao Yan smiled and spoke again. "Junior, please wait a moment. Most of the freshmen are currently waiting at the duel ground. Counting you, there are a total of 9 who have not arrived. No, if something unexpected happens, the remaining 8 freshmen should be here soon. After all, the last time notified in the notice is coming soon." "Senior Xiao, what will happen if someone fails to report at the time specified in the notice?" Zhongzhan couldn't help but ask. "It's very simple." Xiao Yan smiled and said, "Drop out of school." "Ah, drop out of school. Drop out of school directly." Zhongzhan was stunned. "Why, do you think our Magic City University is very unkind?" Xiao Yan still had a smile on his face. Zhongzhan suddenly didn't know how to answer. The fact that he is late means that he does not pay enough attention to our Demon City University. Since you do not value our Demon City University, then our Demon City University is not short of you. You can go wherever you fall in love," Xiao Yan said with a smile on his face. A touch of aloofness emerged. After the words fell, the scene suddenly became quiet. Neither of them spoke, but waited quietly. Soon, new students arrived one after another, and no one was late. "Okay, now that everyone is here, it's time for us to go over. It's almost time. The entrance ceremony for your freshmen will begin soon." Xiao Yan emphasized the word ceremony, which immediately made Zhongzhan and others aware. This so-called freshman entrance ceremony was definitely not the conventional ceremony they had in mind. Magic City University. In a certain dueling arena. On the stage, stood several instructors. Below, there are about 300 freshmen who have just entered the school standing together. The entire duel arena was silent. Everyone is waiting quietly. When Xiao Yan led Zhongzhan and others to the entrance, a tutor on the stage suddenly spoke. "Okay, now that everyone is here, the entrance ceremony for our freshmen will officially begin." Quote, "Since you have chosen our Magic City University, you should know the school culture of our Magic City University. We at Magic City University will fight for the word. All the benefits in the school need to be fought for with your own hands. Remember, it's a fight, not a fight." Next, in order to allow you to understand more clearly the competition culture of our Magic City University, the Academic Affairs Office has arranged a special freshman ceremony for you. For every new student, our Magic City University will give 2 million student aid points. The student aid points can be used to purchase various spiritual herbs and elixirs in our Magic City University's treasure house. Here, I can, without exaggeration, he said that in our Demon City University, as long as you have enough points, you can even buy 7th, 8th or even 9th level spiritual herbs and elixirs. Next, you need to have a battle with your seniors. As long as you can persist for more than 2 minutes under the attack of your seniors, your student aid points will be doubled. However, if you lose within 2 minutes, your student aid points will be reduced by half. Of course, your seniors and sisters will lower their strength to the first order perfection level. The teacher from the Academic Affairs Office just finished speaking. There was an uproar at the scene. Zhongzhan noticed. Among the freshmen, many of them had expressions of excitement and ecstasy on their faces when they heard the news. Obviously, these people are all people who are confident in their own strength and believe that they can last for 2 minutes under the attack of their seniors. Quiet. In the midst of the uproar, the loud voice of the instructor from the Academic Affairs Office suddenly sounded, easily overpowering the crowd's uproar. The scene suddenly became quiet. Then, the instructor from the Academic Affairs Office spoke again. "Okay, you can start." As his words fell, brushing, including Xiao Yan, a total of 10 men and women suddenly stood up. Those people start first. Xiao Yan looked at Zhongzhan and others with a smile, and asked with a kind face. I'll go first. I come. Count me in. Quote. As soon as he finished speaking, one after another among the freshmen, they rushed to stand up and jumped in front of Xiao Yan's 10 people one-on-one. On the high platform, when the instructors saw this, they all looked at each other and smiled. It seems that the freshmen of this class are very confident. Ha 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 ha, which freshmen of this year are not confident? If they are not confident, how dare they choose our Magic City University? Makes sense. I don't know how many of this year's batch of freshmen will escape unscathed in the end. It's great to have one or two who can stand up to the sky. Even among all the sophomore students, Xiao Yan and the 10 of them are considered to be in the upper middle class in terms of strength. Even if they suppress their strength to the first level of perfection, their fighting skills, the experience will not be reduced because of this. It started. Quote. While these instructors were talking about each other, the battle below had already begun. Without exception, all freshmen took the lead. All of a sudden, all kinds of superpowers are everywhere. In order to double their student aid points and to show their strength in front of their tutors and other freshmen, the freshmen immediately took out their trump cards at the beginning and viciously killed their opponents. Junior and junior students, I'm sorry, we are doing this for you too. You have just entered school, so how can you use so many points? It is a complete waste for you to put so many points on your body. You might as well give them away. Half of it is given to us poor seniors. We will thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Xiao Yan suddenly moved while muttering with a smile. His figure suddenly flashed. The next moment, he had disappeared. What? Where are the people? Not good. The expression of the freshman who was fighting against him suddenly changed. Just as he was about to dodge to the side, he was already kicked hard by Xiao Yan in the back. Aha! The new student was kicked out and fell off the stage. Knocked out on the spot. At the same time, the situation on the other 9 stages was not much better. Facing the senior students with rich practical experience, the freshmen's attacks were easily dodged by the old students one after another, but all the old students' attacks could fall on the freshmen. In this way, one after another new students were easily knocked off the stage by the old students. The whole process will not take more than 10 seconds. Crush. This is a complete crushing game. Suddenly, the faces of the freshmen, who were originally full of confidence, elation, and full of expectations, all darkened. Who's next? Xiao Yan, who was on the stage, quickly glanced at the faces of Zhongzhan and others below, and said with a smile. I come. I. Quote. Another group of freshmen who did not believe in evil jumped onto the stage. This batch of freshmen lasted significantly longer than the previous batch. But the most powerful one only lasted less than 15 seconds before being ruthlessly knocked off the stage by Xiao Yan and others. Next, Xiao Yan smiled and said to the remaining 200 to 300 freshmen. Because they had settled the battle so easily in the first 2 waves, for a while, not a single freshman jumped on the stage. Zhang Xuanggong was ready to stand up. Suddenly. Then I heard the voice of the instructor from the Academic Affairs office suddenly rang out on the high platform. Ahem, I forgot to remind you of one thing. All of you freshmen must participate in this special ceremony. If you don't come on stage, what will happen? It's still the same. Even if you lose, you will still have half of your student aid points deducted. As soon as these words came out, suddenly, brush. One after another, figures jumped onto the ring one after another. Zhongzhan is also one of them. And the person he faced happened to be Xiao Yan, who was smiling from beginning to end. It's you, Junior Zhongzhan. Seeing Zhongzhan come on stage, Xiao Yan said hello with a smile. Senior Xiao Yan, please show mercy later. Zhongzhan also replied with a smile. No problem, senior, I will definitely be gentle. Xiao Yan said with a smile. Senior Xiao Yan, then I will take action first. Well, you go first, senior, I'm ready. After the 2 exchanged polite words, the battle began directly. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhongzhan was already on the ground and charging towards Xiao Yan. Oh, you're pretty fast, but if you, junior, only have this little ability, then I'll accept your 1 million points, senior. Facing Zhang Zan's attack, there was no trace of panic on Xiao Yan's face. Still smiling. 5 meters, 4 meters, 3 meters. Seeing that Zhang Zan was about to kill him, he suddenly moved. He is extremely fast. After his body shook slightly, an afterimage was left on the spot. When he appeared again, he was already behind Zhang Zan. Junior, I'm sorry. Senior, I'm doing this for your own good. As the saying goes, one learns from every experience. While muttering, Xiao Yan aimed a sweeping kick at Zhang Zan's back. And at this moment, Zhang Zan seemed to have no intention of discovering Xiao Yan's whereabouts. Still rushing towards the location of Xiao Yan's afterimage. Oh, are we going to lose again? How could this happen? How could this happen? Before I came to Magic City University, I had never fought against a first-order Zochan superpower. It's not like I had never defeated a first-order Zochan superpower. I have fought against second-level superpowers before, so why was I defeated by them with just one move? We seem to have forgotten something. Forgot something. What? Aren't our seniors the same as us when they first entered school? They are all geniuses from all over Kyushu. My Sao, my Sao, my Sao, my Sao, my Sao, look, 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 I am Sao. Just as the freshmen were talking about it, suddenly, an incredible exclamation suddenly sounded. Everyone quickly came to their senses and quickly looked up and forward, and then saw Zhang Zan, who was pressing down on Xiao Yan. I am Sao. What's the situation? That guy's name seems to be Zhang Zan, right? Wasn't he about to lose just now? Quote. Everyone was stunned when they saw this. And this time, on the stage, ouch, Tempest kick swept out. After Zhang Zan relied on observation hockey and paper arts to avoid Xiao Yan's self-assumed killer kick, he was completely unreasonable. The attack was swift and violent, one move after another, without giving Xiao Yan any chance to breathe or react. Actually, if Zhang Zan is willing, when he sees the opportunity, he could have unleashed Conqueror's hockey first, briefly stunning Xiao Yan, and then used armament hockey and 6 styles to knock him off the ring the moment he was briefly stunned. Although doing this would give him some limelight and win a lot of people's attention, he didn't do it. Zhang Zan didn't want to miss such a good opportunity for actual combat. Opportunities like this type of actual combat also exist in the Magic City Superpower User Association. But, not cheap. The charging standard for a second-level sparring partner is 100,000 yuan for half an hour. How could a poor guy like Zhang Zan be willing to spend 100,000 yuan to find a sparring partner? Most of the first-level bounty missions are actually dealing with some upgraded beasts, which do not add much practical experience at all. That is to say, Zhang Zan's actual combat experience is actually very weak. So, only he would take advantage of Xiao Yan. Being able to become a student of Magic City University, one of the 3 largest universities in Kyushu, Xiao Yan, like Zhang Zan, is naturally a genius. And he entered school 1 year earlier than Zhang Zan. In this year, in the Magic City University, which adheres to the culture of competition, he has experienced countless battles, large and small, and has a wealth of combat experience. So, soon he gradually calmed down and gradually regained his footing under Zhang Zan's violent offensive. And this time, 1 minute and 50 seconds have passed. There are only 10 seconds left before the 2-minute allotted time. Junior, you really opened my eyes. But that's it for now. I can't play with you anymore. Xiao Yan just finished speaking. Next moment, swish, brush, brush. His body shook, and a body exactly like his flew out of his body. Xiao Yan, a sophomore at Magic City University, is an A-level super clone superpower. Then, one of them, Xiao Yan, took the initiative and rushed towards Zhang Zan, while the other Xiao Yan disappeared in a flash. Boom! Zhang Zan just pumped his fist and blocked the attack of Xiao Yan #1 that was heading towards him. Sudden, behind, ouch, a strong wind came. Xiao Yan took action on the second. At the same time, Xiao Yan #1 from the front was approaching again. One in front and one behind, forming a double team. Oh, I still have to lose. What a pity, it's only the last few seconds. I finally found out. The school has no intention of letting us win. No, 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 dodge, I gao. How did Zhang Zan do it? How did he do it? What ability is that? Is that his superpower? His body is actually following the wind and move. Just like a piece of rice paper. Under the bright gaze of everyone. Facing the attacks coming one after another, Zhongzhan seemed to have given up resistance. He did not take action to defend himself, but stood quietly and motionless. Reality. At this moment, he is fully activating his observation hockey and paper arts abilities. All the strength of the body is removed. This moment, Zhongzhan's body was as thin as a piece of paper. As his body shook, he dodged the fatal attacks from Xiaoyan's number 1 and number 2 one after another. What? How can it be? Not good. Xiaoyan's expression suddenly changed. Next moment, a huge force had already swept across his body. Under the impact of this huge force, he flew directly backwards, drew a beautiful arc in the air, and landed on the ring. The whole audience. There was a sudden pause. Immediately afterwards. Blah blah blah. There was an uproar. Holy shit. Damn it. Damn it. Win. What just happened? What happened just now? Not only did he successfully stay in the ring for 2 minutes under the senior's offensive, he even beat the senior down. Quote. The freshmen were in an uproar, and the expressions of the 5 instructors on the high platform also changed slightly. One of the instructors reached out and grabbed it, and Zhongzhan's admission file appeared in his hand. After a quick glance, he suddenly laughed. What's wrong, Lao Zhong? The instructors on the side heard his laughter and looked over curiously. The instructor raised Zhongzhan's admission file and asked, "Do you know what kind of superpower the new student named Zhongzhan has awakened?" "Isn't it agility?" one of the instructors asked subconsciously. No. The instructor shook his head, his eyes suddenly turned to Zhongzhan below, and said meaningfully, "What he awakened is an A-level upgraded superpower." What? Upgraded system. Quote. Hearing this, the other 4 instructors were stunned for a moment. Upgraded system. Lao Zhong, are you sure? A bearded instructor stared and asked. Okay. The previous instructor nodded. Interesting. Judging from his performance just now, I almost thought he had awakened the agility system, but I didn't expect it to be the upgraded system. Wait, upgraded system. Since he awakened the upgraded system, doesn't it mean that when he fought Xiaoyan just now, he didn't use all his strength at all? You can defeat Xiaoyan, whose strength is perfect at the first level without using all your strength. If you use all your strength, wouldn't you be able to fight the second level? I really want to see how much he weighs. The tutor from the academic affairs office said and suddenly waved. Immediately afterwards, a beam of light suddenly fell from the sky and shone on Zhongzhan, causing Zhongzhan, who was about to jump off the ring, to stop. What's the situation? Zhongzhan looked up at the high platform in confusion. Zhongzhan, right. Facing Zhongzhan's confused gaze, the tutor from the academic affairs office suddenly said, "Now there is an opportunity to double the points you can get for freshman student aid. Do you want to fight for it? Double it again." When Zhongzhan heard this, his eyes suddenly lit up. He did a quick calculation in his mind. He could only get 2 million points originally, but after defeating Xiaoyan, the points he could get had doubled. In other words, he could now get 4 million points. If it were doubled, his points would directly become 8 million. 8 million, this is not a small amount. Heartbeat. Zhongzhan's heart suddenly moved. He was just about to speak when he heard the voice of the tutor from the academic affairs office sounded again. Of course, there are gains and losses. If you fail, your points will be reduced to a quarter, which means that in the end you can only I got 1 million student aid points. Now, I'll give you 10 seconds to think about it. No need, teacher, I need this opportunity. Zhongzhan's eyes were sharp, he clenched his fists and spoke without hesitation. Very good. A look of appreciation suddenly appeared on the face of the instructor of the academic affairs office. After nodding with satisfaction, he spoke again, "It's still 2 minutes. As long as you cannot suppress Xiaoyan's attack, if you persist for 2 minutes, you will be considered successful. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, Xiaoyan's strength is the 2nd level of perfection. I can give you a chance to regret it. If you take the initiative to admit defeat now, your student aid points will only be reduced by half." The words fell. The scene suddenly became quiet. Brushing. For a moment, everyone's eyes were focused on Zhongzhan. Call. Zhongzhan took a deep breath and said, "Teacher, I'm ready." Very good. After the tutor from the Academic Affairs Office nodded, he turned his attention to Xiaoyan and said, "Xiaoyan, this is Zhongzhan's opportunity and this is also your opportunity. As a sophomore student of our Magic City University, you should be very good. Understand the rules of our Magic City University. If you win, the 4 million point reward you received this time to welcome the new students will not be halved because of your defeat just now. But if you lose, you will not be able to win this time. You won't get a penny." "I see." There was no longer a smile on Xiaoyan's face, and he no longer looked as smiling as before. His face was full of solemnity. The gaze he looked at Zhongzhan was full of fighting intent. "Now that you all know it, let's get started. Don't waste everyone's time." As the instructor from the Academic Affairs Office finished speaking, Xiaoyan jumped directly onto the ring. "Zhongzhan, I admit, I did underestimate you just now, but this time, will keep my hand again." The words fell. Brushing, brushing, brushing. Xiaoyan shook violently. 2 clones separated from his body one after another. Including his body, there are 3 in total. And the clone and the main body are exactly the same. And the clones created by A-level superpowers are exactly the same as the original body, whether in terms of strength, speed, or various abilities. It is impossible to tell the difference with the naked eye. Unless you use the mental power detection ability such as Nianwang. As for the mental power detection ability of Nianwang, the minimum requirement for cultivation requires at least 2000 Hz of mental power. Under normal circumstances, the mental power of 2000 Hz can only be achieved by breaking through to the 4th level. Of course, some people with extraordinary talents and superpowers who have awakened spiritual superpowers or rich people with large minds at home may also meet this requirement at the 3rd level. Zhongzhan's spiritual power is only over 600 kilometers. But this did not prevent him from easily locking onto Xiaoyan's body among the 3 bodies. Because, from the beginning, even before Xiaoyan split into clones, his body had been locked by Zhongzhan's observation haki. This time, Zhongzhan was no longer holding back, nor was he taking the opportunity to use Xiaoyan to increase his actual combat experience. After all, Xiaoyan did not suppress his own strength this time. Zhongzhan didn't think that with his full strength, he would really be a match for Xiaoyan, who was in the 2nd level of Zochan realm. So, he knows it very well. If he wants to defeat Xiaoyan, he only has one chance. An opportunity to catch him off guard. Xiaoyan was the first to move. 3 bodies flashed rapidly. In the blink of an eye, Zhongzhan was surrounded and attacked from 3 directions. 5 meters, 4 meters, 3 meters, 2 meters. Seeing that Xiaoyan was already killing him, Zhongzhan suddenly moved. Within the body, the power of the Azure Dragon Fruit exploded. In an instant, he transformed into a huge half-man, half-dragon monster. At the same time, Conqueror's haki burst out with a loud bang, instantly enveloping Xiaoyan. That moment, Xiaoyan's mind instantly went blank. It was blank for 0.5 seconds. And it was within this 0.5 seconds that Zhongzhan took action. A tempest kick with all your strength. A tempest kick mixed with armament haki. With lightning speed, it landed hard on Xiaoyan's body. Boom! A dark shadow flashed and a heavy object fell to the ground. The surrounding ground trembled slightly, dust flying. On the stage, Zhongzhan, half-dragon and half-dragon, stood tall and straight. Apart from him, there was no one else on the stage. Yes, the black shadow that drew an arc in the air, fell heavily to the ring, and fell to the ground was none other than Xiaoyan. Silence, silence, silence. The entire duel arena was filled with incomparable silence. It was so quiet that you could even hear the breeze blowing through the trees outside and the rustling of the leaves. Everyone was stunned. Everyone was stunned. At this moment, everyone's minds are blank. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, tick-tock tick-tock. Time passed slowly, second by second. It took about half a minute for people to come back to their senses one after another. Suddenly, blah blah blah. The whole place was in an uproar. The whole place was in an uproar. Noises, screams, questions, and cries of disbelief came and went, resounding through the sky. F***ck. I'm Sao. I'm holding the grass. I'm a bastard. My day. My Zon. My crystal. I'm sorry. Quote. Among the noise, the most common sounds were uncontrollable swear words like the 3 sentences above. What happened? What just happened? What happened just now? I just yawned. What happened? What's going on? What exactly is going on? Xiao, Senior Xiaoyan, why did you lose? What happened? What happened just now? Senior Xiaoyan is a second-level perfect superpower. What is the situation? What is the situation? Oh no, how did Zhongzhan win? Who can tell me? How did Zhongzhan win? How did Zhongzhan win? Quote. Shock. Everyone was shocked. Not just the 300 freshmen, but also the 9 sophomores who came to help the freshmen enroll, even the 5 instructors from the Demon City University on the stage were stunned for a while before they came back to their senses. Did you see clearly just now? It's amazing, it's amazing. That boy named Zhongzhan is not simple. Yeah, it's incredible. That kid's clone superpower of Xiaoyan is A-level. It's basically impossible to tell with the naked eye. You have to use the mind net or other mental power detection abilities to detect his true body. To distinguish Xiaoyan from his clone, Zhongzhan was able to find his true body from Xiaoyan's clone so accurately. Wow, that's interesting. No, he was not found. You may not have looked carefully, but I did. From the beginning to the end, from the very beginning, the boy named Zhongzhan has used some special ability to Xiaoyan's body is locked. Interesting, ha. He reminds me of someone. The instructor who had seen Zhongzhan's admission file suddenly spoke. Who? The bearded instructor next to him looked curious. Li Hao, who graduated last year, said the instructor. That kid Li Hao, that kid is doing great things now. I heard that he has reached the 6th level of Zochan. Are you already starting to prepare for the 7th level? Yes. It's not easy to cross from the 6th level to the 7th level. There are all ants below the 7th level. This sentence is no joke. Without massive resources, it is not that easy to break through to the 7th level. Yes, speaking of which, why does that kid Zhongzhan remind you of Li Hao? Because they are the same kind of people. Their family circumstances are very difficult. Moreover, Zhongzhan's family circumstances are even worse than that of Li Hao. For a poor man, once one day he suddenly finds a person who can climb up, he will never let go of an opportunity easily. He will definitely climb up at all costs. Little Li Hao. The bearded instructor quickly cast his gaze at Zhongzhan, his eyes flickered, and he murmured meaningfully, judging from his current performance, he is still far from Li Hao. He is not ruthless enough. Not greedy enough. Since you are so optimistic about him, then I want to see if he can become the next Li Hao of our Magic City University. As he spoke, the bearded instructor suddenly spoke and loudly said, everyone be silent. Sound waves spread out. Moment. It easily overwhelmed everyone's noise. It was like a terrifying thunder. Everyone raised their heads and looked at him. The freshman ceremony continues. Zhongzhan replaces Xiaoyan as the examiner and assists the other 9 sophomores in assessing all the remaining freshmen who have not participated in the assessment. As soon as these words came out, everyone's expressions suddenly changed. Wait a minute, Teacher Niu. Xiaoyan's voice had just sounded when the bearded instructor suddenly spoke and interrupted him. Xiaoyan, you have been defeated by a new student twice in a row. You are no longer qualified to continue to be an examiner. Quote. Yes, Xiaoyan clenched his fist unwillingly. Zhongzhan, are you willing to take Xiaoyan's place as examiner and examine all the freshmen admitted this year? Before Zhongzhan could respond, the bearded instructor's voice rang out again. Don't refuse in a hurry. This is also an opportunity. This examiner is not for nothing. Every time you defeat a new student, that freshman will have 1 million admission points deducted, and of that 1 million admission points, you can get 500,000 of them. Of course, there is no free lunch in the world. If you lose to someone else, if you fail to knock someone off the ring within 2 minutes, your admission points will be reduced by 1 million. Now, tell me your choice. For every person you defeat, you will get 500,000 points. There are more than 300 freshmen enrolled in Magic City University this time. If I can defeat all those 300 people, 300 times 500,000. That's 150 million. Thinking of this, Zhang Zan's eyes suddenly turned red. He clenched his fist violently. Then, look up. Facing the gaze of the bearded instructor, he said, Teacher Niu, I think it is too wasteful for the seniors and sisters to assess the freshmen, and it is a bit like killing a chicken with a sledgehammer, so I am applying by myself. Come and assess all new students. As soon as these words came out, the whole place fell silent. Immediately afterwards, the next second, ha 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 ha. The bearded teacher's loud laughter resounded through the sky. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe.